Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
You have pet? That is your pet on photo.
No, it just was on this account.
Interesting. That is better than nothing.
Yeah.
How you spent weekends?
Oh, it was pretty long weekend.
You work?
Not only, it was short training on Scrum and workout, chilling, hanging out with friends, different activities.
Okay, then I understand that you two decide to spend weekends for yourself.
Only Sunday. Saturday it was more preparing for trainings and delivering training, and a bit of walking. But Sunday it was more time for myself. Yeah, and that's it. What about your weekend?
Well, we spend time with family, and also we driving to the birthday party. That was my nephew birthday, and we uh, I saw so many people for a long time because we don't see each other more than 2 months, and that was very interesting to see each other and understand that we're happy to speak together, to sit each near each as usual we're doing it. For example, now we have distance from the people near half and 2 meters, and we sit near for the one table and speak which together, and that was very interesting because everybody said that feel something interested after some long time, some long period without communicate, and we enjoying about this situation. Also, we my children to start driving on by bicycle, and that is too happy for us. New decision, and we spend time on the village, continue spend time in the village, and I crush woods for the winter, and разбивал, колол деревья. And my weekends end.
I got. Sounds cool. What about
Hi.
what was the most fun moment on your weekend?
In my
Yeah.
That about children. That when they start driving on bicycle, because I really happy. That is new experience for children, and I happy because they happy.
Did you help them?
Yeah, of course. I help to start, but when they cannot do it itself, they say, "Thank you, father. We can alone to do this."
Cool.
I will happy. Yeah.
Sounds good. What about you, Alexei?
It was very active. It was very active weekends. The first part of Saturday I spent in car service. Some repair, and after that we got together with my friends and rode on bicycle. I think more than 30 kilometers with kids, and it was cool and but pretty difficult because it was a very large group, and when too many people, it's pretty difficult to manage all this situation. And after that, we continue with my friends in their home with beer and and actually it's I think the first time after during quarantine when we got together and spent some time. And on Sunday we also got riding on bicycle, and but smaller company with my brother and his family, and with my family, with 2 kids and wives. And we rode to Pushcha Vodica park, and I think we rode also 35 kilometers with kids. Yeah, and that's all. All weekends on bicycle, I can say.
Sounds cool. Pretty active and healthy weekend you had.
Yeah, and we found one interesting. I don't know how, not breakfast. Some interesting snacks. It's a sausage,
Mm-hmm.
sausages. Yeah, sausages fried on fire, but fire not natural fire from wood, fire from gas. We just for quickly took one газовая горелка,
Mm-hmm.
gas fire, and on this fire we fried sausages, and it was very quick and pretty cool. Kids kids liked it very, and they always wait for this moment.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So yes, guys, you had pretty good weekends, and like fulfilled with events, with having rest, with some of us with some sport activities. Because for me, I also did some training yesterday, not in the gym, but in a sport, in a street yard that was equipped for workout activities, and not far from the lake. And I really like this place. And as I understood, gym here in Moldova will be open somewhere in July. So until July, I guess I will be coming. I'm going to be coming to this street workout place. Yeah.
Just on July, I heard that in Kiev, all gyms will open on second part of May.
Yeah, it also was the news. news was about that during the May it should be open, but in reality it was prolonged until July.
If it open now, would you go there or not?
Yeah, I think I'll find gym place where I can have daily trainings, like not for months on a month, but for a day, because it is more flexible for me. And not sure, but maybe during summertime I'm going to travel a bit, because I already know that starting from June it will be like opening of some boards, like Bulgaria will be opened 1st of June. Yeah, and other countries, and Italy as well, and
For all people?
not only for Europe, or only citizens of Europe. So if you have,
Is it?
yeah,
Is Moldavia a country of Europe?
not really, but it's partially. But I'm not going to travel with a Moldavian passport. I'm going to travel with a Romanian passport.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, with Romanian passport I can travel without any limits.
Do you have two passports?
Yep.
Good.
What about you guys? What about your plans for this summer?
Really, I don't know. I think I will postpone some traveling and to try to organize some rest near our city, or maybe in Carpathia, or in our country. I don't think that we will go abroad this summer.
Do you think borders going to be closed for Ukraine?
It's the one of the reason, but I think not the main. I think it can be some difficult and problems, and I don't want to. If I travel with my family, with kids, and I think better to postpone this for now. If I were alone, if I be alone, yeah, maybe I plan some traveling, but with kids and family, it's not the best time.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. And we have to change our plans, and I think we can say this after June. About we plan to visit sea, or we stay in the village for the last of the summer, because now we don't understand all information, and that is situation is difficult about work, and we must understand and our salary stay same, and we still have work, and after end of the June we can say we're planning to visit another places this year or not.
Yeah.
What about you, Igor? You say that today we're planning to speak about agile methodology, Scrum, how it's working in other companies, how it works on the practice.
I guess we were planning to talk about startups from Silicon Valley, and maybe some startups who are kind of users of Scrum.
Yeah, good proposition too.
Yeah.
How do you think? Is startup all startup, even small startup, should plan in their work with some methodology, or just I don't know, just do some task and create some application, and after growing, just just after growing, they should use some methodology for work.
When you're a startup, you should be focused on efficiency, be focused on having structure, on growing. So if you have a certain methodology, it is better. You are better off to grow your business in comparison if you don't have any methodology. Yeah. So at least you should understand what other methodologies that already exist and how can you implement them. And when you decide what methodology is best, it's like having a custom. So you should have a custom dependent on the event. If we're talking about some special events like party, you are going to be in one custom. But if you are going to go out for a walk, for sport, you'll be another. So you should put in on you and decide which one is better for you. Yeah, the same story about methodologies that you're going to use, because there are like dozens of methodologies dependent on your level, on your company structure, dependent on many kind of factors. So assessing all those factors, you decide what the methodology is best for you. What kind of Scrum methodology is best for you, what kind of Kanban methodology, or maybe even mix of Scrum and Kanban, a kind of Scrum-Ban methodology.
Yeah, but if you don't have time and opportunity to change this methodology, and you just want to you don't want to spend a lot of time with finding some better methodology for yourself, for your company. And in very beginning, you have just some idea, some small group of people who want to make something. And what do you think in this situation is better? Just forget about all methodology and do your work, and during some time try to use some of them, or from start take one of them.
Yeah, so from the begin of your startup, if you starting with a certain methodology, you will be better off. And if you don't have any knowledge about this, then you should find a person who can help you. Even if you don't have money, you should interest this person. For example, you can propose him to be part of your team, or maybe even give him or her part of option on the startup in order to have this person. Because when, for example, you are going to have, let's say, investment pitch, it can be a good even plus to mention that you are working like in the Scrum methodology or using some specific tools from Scrum, and like, for example, if you have a second meeting, then you can like show the entire process. Yeah, you can show the entire process of your project, and it can be really good factor or good argument for having those investments.
Yeah, but if on start you don't have some ability to use this, and after you create some product, some application to maybe, and you think about attract some investment, in that moment, can you try to use Scrum and prepare your company for being more attractive for investors? Or we can faced with a lot of problem when we didn't do it at the start.
Yeah, as I mentioned from the beginning, it's better to implement Scrum from the beginning, but not to wait until you're going to be bigger or you're going to have more investments. So in the early stage of your of growing your startup, it's better to start like, even if you have 3 people in your team, anyway, you can already start implementing or using it, explaining it to a team, and working like on those processes and practicing Scrum meetings and Scrum processes, Scrum values. Because from the beginning you don't know what going to be your value of your startup. You don't have culture, so you can try to use this custom for your first, let's say, running, but not wait until you'll be like stronger as a startup, or you have a better skills, let's say.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So, what about startups? What we want to discuss?
Yeah, we can discuss, like, let's say, will be part 1 discussion about Silicon Valley startups, maybe about their success stories, if you know any of this, and discuss like like the way of those startups, discuss maybe obstacles. Maybe even we can start like from our jobs. And for instance, if you're working in a startup or worked in a startup, you can already share your personal experience. Or if you don't work at a startup, you can just like share what you heard or what you watched, maybe some movies or some like interviews like Dude delivered on YouTube. So I guess this is going to be our today discussion, and we can even continue it for tomorrow.
Okay. Actually, I have never worked in startups. I worked in companies that grow from startups, but when I came to this company, it wasn't a startup at that moment. At that moment, that company bought Daimler, and it was pretty big company. And all startups that I know all grow. Not all were successful, but all of them starts with good investments, and there were always two part of people. One part, they have some idea and some knowledge, and the second part have some money for implement this idea. And in this case, it was a successful startup, and they can grow, and for some period they need good investments for growing. Anatoly, do you know some startups who grow from zero?
In Silicon Valley.
No, I think we can talk in general. Actually, I don't know any startups personally from Silicon Valley.
I know one startup, but I forget name about Trips. Trips, my about Trips, and that is a girl and her husband who's now living in Silicon Valley, and they donate startup. And in this year, that would next round, and this woman have her personal vlog in YouTube channel, and she also say about her life and about startup, how they created, and boy was technologist who's write code, and she was as marketing, and that is for me, that is history about two persons as usual, who's create something better. And I can say that here really when we together, we think better and have some partners who can help us, with whom we can share our ideas and growing together. And if I sick or ill, yeah, my partner can help me and continue working, and our process never stop. Also, I saw that these guys from Silicon Valley about video YouTube video planning to start a new area and write место, place. Yeah, write on Russian место. That is site on tilde, and where they say for people, oh, hi guys, after Dutch video, we want to create a place where people can communicate together, can share ideas, can find investors, command, and mentors, and you can write your information about yourself in short form, and after 1 month this place can works, and now we find people who's interesting this idea to create some area on the whole world. And that is Andrei and another man who's find investitions in the video. And I think, yeah, the good idea. They at once have reaction and discuss with these guys how it's good will be good for us and for another peoples, and that is MVP project at once on tilde, and for small price. You see this information or not?
What is it? No.
About место.
I just see you.
I can share link, and you can to see this information in chat. And
Startup.
I think that is a startup, yeah. Same ideas, cheap price, MVP project. When you want to create MVP project, yeah, at once you can share your idea. Also, you can find people who's like this idea. You find some information about these people. And have a small base, and after that you can contact and continue working with these people and understand this idea can be live in future or not.
So it's place for pitching, as I understood.
That's I don't know how it will work. But you can read information that at once they write about Dutch film, about Dutch movie, and they understand that that's not impossible where you live, in which place, in which country. If you want to be with people who think in the same way, and these people can be together and share ideas to write information about themselves, and maybe you find for your startups some mentors, some investors, some comment, and we can create this place and to be there. One big area, but I don't know how they planning to continue growing. That is only how startups can start. We too start with same way. We bought on Tilda some account and create a simple site, simple text, and after that we find clients or investitions. This idea that this method too works. I start my startup with my brother. That was maybe not startup, but yet that was two business. When we start idea to construct furniture, and we create site. We to advertise, pay for the advertising, and start call for another places, companies to share our link and tell about us, about our idea, and find clients. And yeah, we find some clients. And after that, this idea start working, and we 2 year work with this idea and not change site and anything. Maybe you start with another way.
What do you mean start with another way?
I mean, maybe you create your ideas, your startups are not on the Tilda or WordPress, and maybe you at once start planning a big company with a big value command and pay more money for this.
From my perspective, from the beginning, you don't need a lot of money. You just need a certain amount of money that is needed to be used for some equipment, or maybe some like time to meet each other, because working online is good, but it's better to have some time offline meetings. Yeah, and at the beginning, you just need to passion your like team with the idea and with the future perspective. Like, we are going to be growing, we are going to go APO in 3 or 5 years, and for those who are going to be with us by the end, will receive a certain amount of option, and he'll be or she'll be super rich because of growing our startup, or because of exit strategy, like selling the startup.
Yeah, but before I think before start some startup, you should analyze your possibility for growing, and a lot of people they start startups and try to do something without knowing how grow, and for which size they can grow, and I think it's not the best way. Before run your idea, before that you should analyze some what should you get in the future from your startup, and how you can grow, and for which size you can grow, and how many effort you need to put before you get some first money, and because it's a very big problem when people started something and when people start something, and after they don't know which functional they need for get some money, and after some time they just throw away this because they cannot um, offer some interesting for people, and actually nobody buy your product.
For me and for my understanding, when we communicate with people and when they tell us about startups, that not startups for the big business. For example, they think about startup that is their small idea whose they want to realize, and other people want to create big business. And when we communicate, we understand that about startup that people say something different, not usual that they want what they create in their life. And for example, one girl want to create prints on t-shirt, and she think, oh, that is startup for me because I never do it. I always paint, and I planning to sell these t-shirts, and I don't know how. And she say that is startup. Okay, for example, yeah, that is startup because that's different, not professional what she doing previously. And after that, she start find another people, another companies, and communicate how to create best product, and that is additional for her experience, but in the way whose she choose, that was startup. For me, for example, yeah, we do open a coffee shop, and yeah, that is simple, that is standard business, but when you start it, when that is new place, new investitions, that is to startup. And you don't know every time how many investitions you planning to take for this idea, and which command, which process. After maybe some time, you can understand it, and yeah, you planning better. For example, about money, about comment, about time, which you planning to spend on this idea. But when you start and you want only to realize this project or this idea, you don't think about so many processes and problems which would in your way. That's my opinion.
Yeah. But you know, when you want to attract some people to your startup, you should offer them something. And if you come to people and say that, okay, we can get together and create some application, for example, and in future we can get some money from this application. So when once came to me one person and say in this way, and first my question was, how which functionality we need for go alive, so for sell our product to other people. It was first question, because from this understanding I should know how much time I need to spend for create this functionality. It's time for just work and without any return. And after that, I should understand how many people can buy our product, and from about which money we talk. Because if we talk about, I don't know, 100 people, and we can earn in a 1 year $500 per month, it's not interesting, because you should spend a lot of your time, you should spend a lot of your efforts, and in better way, in 1 year you will get 500s. But if you talk about more, if you understand that you can spread your application, and many people need for this application, and you can earn more money, it can be pretty interesting. And I think you should set your target on the start.
Sounds pretty smart for me.
So that person who got my questions says that he prepared some business plans, and he prepared some base functionality for our application, and after that he will come to me, and we will talk second time about this.
Yeah. I cannot add any information for you, because I don't know about idea, about project, about what you tell me now, and every project different.
Yeah, I agree. But you know, I think for all projects you should understand how many effort you should put on this project, and what you will get in the future from this project. I cannot. I don't say that you should full understand on that, but approximately understanding you should get.
For example, okay, we have project on whose we spent a lot of money, and this project write professionals analytic comment, project comment, and this project have some plans after 2 years to take money, and after 4 years to return investitions. And at once we work in all moments of who was writing in this plan. And for plan was paying big money too, and comment works only in this plan. And after half year, we understand that this plan maybe not will work, and also management say, yeah, we continue working, this will be work. And this good plan, best plan whose we write anytime, and after 1 year we sit on one table and discuss about these ideas, and that it not works. And upper management said that no, we have another 1 year, and maybe I don't see and not hear about agile previously, but that is good example when we must work how a market change, because experts who write this project and spend more than half year, maybe year, to continue this project idea, to only idea, and how much money, how much time, which command, which products we need, and this project now planning to close, but they spent 5 years, a lot of money, and they have big professionals, and that was not simple people, that was businessmen, investors, and this project worked 5 years. But I only spent in this project half year and understand I cannot work with this comment because they don't hear another people, and they lose money, a lot of money, and people stay in these workplaces because they need work, and they cannot say that we must change something in this project. This project never launch in this format, but this not works.
Yeah, first of all, we talk from different kinds of startups. You talk about startup with a lot of investments. I talk about small startup. You talk about 1 year spent for preparing some business plans. It's pretty long. I talk about, for example, if you want to create some payment system for, I don't know, for
Students.
What?
For example, for students, like university paying system.
Yeah, okay. University payment system. You should understand that in basic functionality, you need some functionality for register your customers, and second, you need to ability to do some transactions from merchant to from customer to merchant, and that's all. It's a basic functionality. With this functionality, you can go to product, and you can share your application with other students and with other people. And you should understand that for this functionality, you can create this functionality in 3 months. So you should spend 3 months. After that, you start spread your application between students, and you after that you will understand what direction for growing. You should understand in which way you should grow, what you need to add to your application, what people need, and it's a very flexible way. But you need to understand which basic functionality you can start from, which basic functionality. And if you spend 1 year for analyze market, I think it's not work, because in 1 year all first of all market change, and if you need to spend 3 years for implement this idea, I think in 3 years all change. Our world changed for 2 months during our last 2 months. So maybe for big startups with a lot of investments, it's a good approach, but not for small.
You're afraid to lose your idea? I not understand you now, because you say now about some standard whose must works.
I said about look, I said about that. I don't want to lose my time. If I take some idea and want to implement this idea, I should understand how much time I need spend before I start spread this application and go live with this application. Because if you just have idea, you can implement this idea during a lot of time, during, I don't know, 1 year, 2 years. And after that, you understand that, oh, I do something wrong, and everything, I cannot offer this application for other people. And you lost 2 years. I think it's not a good approach for start.
Maybe that would be next startup when you create this idea and tell for another startups how much time they must spend for launch one idea in different businesses, in different areas, in different commands of people, and with different investitions. And I think this is not impossible.
All these rules have written, and I know a lot of business analytics who use some rules for when they come to some project or startup. They ask several questions, and they have a really good understanding what they need for growing and for start.
Yeah, guys, by the way, we are out of time, so I propose
Yeah.
to continue this discussion tomorrow, right from this moment, because it's really interesting, and we can like spend more time discussing it in detail.
Yeah, I think it's will be a good topic for discussion. What should we know about our idea to start our startup? What we need for start?
Mm-hmm. Good. And we, by the way, when this English club was just started, it was a tradition to make a selfie, so we can do it again.
Yeah.
So camera on and make selfie. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Cool.
Good. I'll put it in our English club chat, and see you later, guys. See you tomorrow. Have a
Bye.
great time.
Yeah,
Bye.
Bye.